Welcome to Cut the Crap, the unapologetic, unfiltered podcast about the real life behind business, personal growth, and the beautiful chaos of it all. I'm your host, Kirsten, a creative founder, business mentor, and mum, navigating entrepreneurship in a way that's deeply human, never polished, and far from perfect. After 2 decades building businesses and working alongside some of the most inspiring people I know, I have learnt this. The real stories, the ones that don't make the highlight reels, are the ones that matter most. So this podcast is exactly that. Real conversations, raw moments, no hustle hype, no BS, just honest stories from people doing life and business on their own terms. Let's cut the crap. Welcome to another episode of Cut the Crap. Today I am joined by another wonderful lady that I'm very excited to welcome to the podcast. So let me start with her introduction. Today I have a beautiful story of a woman who has a mix of courage, intuition, and following the call, even when it makes absolutely no sense on paper. Tanya Roberts, or Tanz, as most people know her, is the founder of Eco Cheeks, an eco-luxury bamboo toilet paper brand, proving sustainability can be fun, classy, and full of heart. What started as one woman's mission to create safer, toxic-free products for her family and for other families has grown into a movement for conscious living and education. With zero background in business, marketing, or finance, Tanz built Eco Cheeks from the ground up as a solo mum, a story that's as raw as it is inspiring. Along the way, she's discovered that true success isn't about strategy alone, but about trusting your intuition and energy to guide you. She's now also the founder of MindFlow Alchemy, where she helps others unlock the same abundance and alignment that transformed her own life. In this episode, we talk about what it really takes to back yourself when logic says quit, how to move from scarcity to abundance, and the mindset shifts that change everything. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
It's my pleasure. I'm so glad that we could get you on because you've been all over the shop.
Yeah,
traveling and doing amazing things, which is so great.
It's true.
So I am going to start this podcast off in the same way I start everyone. And let's start with the first question. Let's cut the crap. And tell me, how did it start for you? What was your childhood like? And how did your journey begin?
From childhood?
Yeah.
I am very, very fortunate that my parents stood together and grew up with my sister. We grew up on the Gold Coast. It was not a family of wealth or abundance. We were definitely like a mince 100 ways kind of family, and vacations were camping. So that definitely programmed me around money growing up. But I had a safe, loving home and so supportive. My parents have always been so supportive of anything that I've done, and I've done many different things and ran down many different paths, and they've always supported me and cheered me on, even if a little bit worried about some of them. And then once leaving school, I've gone down many paths trying to find my passions and my interests, and traveled the world. I lived overseas for about 8 years of my life, as well as sort of the backpacking.
Where did you live?
I did UK for a bit over 2 years.
Yeah.
Which was, the gateway to seeing a lot of Europe. And then Canada for sort of on and off 6 years.
Okay.
So then got to see a lot of the Americas, Central, South America, Asia, lots of different continents. Yeah. So the travel, it's funny, as a little kid, I always knew I wanted to travel, and I had no idea what that meant. I guess I didn't even know or say the word travel, just wanted to go.
Yes.
So as soon as I kind of had that opportunity at 19, I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, right, I'm going. This is it. And took off. And today it's my biggest passion. I feel so alive, and I know my number one value in life is freedom. And I didn't get that from traveling, because you just have this sense of exploration and you don't know what's around the next corner. But then for me, freedom is also about just having flexibility in my life, and then financial. So there's a lot of things within freedom.
Yeah.
But travel was a big part of me. And then I came back and studied. I did event management. I was doing a degree in nutrition, worked within sales, and did a lot of different things. Did network marketing a few times. And then I had a baby, got pregnant. That was the biggest surprise of my life.
Yeah.
There was zero planning or thought that went into that, and the biggest, most incredible blessing of my life as well.
Yeah.
So started motherhood, quite unexpectedly, but at a very like a mature age. I wasn't young and inexperienced, I guess.
So how old were you when you fell pregnant?
I was 38 when I had him.
Okay. Yeah. So we're considered geriatric then.
I know. I was like, surely there's a better word for that.
I know. It's dreadful. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so was it after you had your son, that's when you had the idea to start Eco Cheeks, or when was your, like, when, how did that journey begin? Obviously you sort of were going through, trying to really find what lit you up and the passion, and, along the way gaining all of this, great experience and, different life skills from all of these different areas that you were dipping your toes into.
Yeah.
But how did it start?
So for years, I was on a journey, very passionate about health and wellness, and it always started off with exercise and eating well.
Yeah.
And then I started learning about the toxic, unnecessary chemicals that go into our products, like skincare, makeup, cleaning products. So I'd been on that journey for many years in eliminating nasty chemicals. And when I had my little one, I guess was on maternity leave, and maybe I had a bit more mental capacity and space, and then learnt about the chemicals that go into toilet paper.
Which is very eye-opening, because you've taught me all about that.
Yeah. Well, these soft little white fluffy rolls you don't think are so toxic and damaging to the environment as well as, our health.
Yeah.
So I'd learned all the chemicals that go into it, but then on top of that, I learned like there's a chemical reaction. So when like chlorine bleach in particular is mixed with the paper pulp that creates toilet paper, it creates dioxins. So they've done studies on this, and they know that it creates dioxins. So dioxins, if you're not aware, or if you've heard of Agent Orange in Vietnam,
yes,
the US used dioxins then, and it's linked to fertility issues, tumors, cancers, a very long list of health implications. They've done studies that this mix of chlorine bleach and paper pulp create dioxins, and then we're putting it on one of the most absorbent areas of our body.
Yes.
So our eyelids are the first, and our southern regions on men and women is the second most absorbent area of our body. And we all know what we put on our skin can be absorbed into our bloodstream. So learning all this, I was like, right, I want a toilet paper that doesn't have chlorine bleach and all these other nasties in it, and there was nothing on the market.
Yeah.
I had zero, business knowledge or sense. I never underestimated business either. It was never something that I was like, I want a business one day because, it'll give me so much freedom. I always looked at it as a really challenging, big task.
Yes.
So for me to then all of a sudden go, I'm going to do this like business, this brand, I'm going to bring these products to the market, was bizarre, but it just always felt in flow. So it was about like 11 months of development and learning and research and working with the right manufacturers and making sure things were done ethically and sustainably before we launched.
And how did you even know where to go? Like, how did you find your manufacturers? What were the steps that you took?
So the trifecta of having a product for me would be toxic-free, sustainable, and Australian-made. Mm-hmm. That would be my absolute ultimate. With creating the toilet paper, there was 2 sustainable materials that could be used. One was recycled paper, because we're not, chopping down more trees and creating deforestation, or the other is bamboo.
Right.
So with recycled paper, you are using post-consumer paper, which is full of inks and dyes. And then to turn that back into usable paper, it's a very chemical intensive process.
Right.
So that left me with bamboo, which is an incredibly fast growing plant. Some species can grow over 1 meter a day, and it's a grass. So it gets harvested and then it keeps growing rather than a tree which gets chopped and we got to start all over again.
Yes.
So it's an incredibly sustainable material. However, in Australia, we don't make products out of bamboo. I even called 3 nurseries that have bamboo. So they sell it for homes and gardens, and asked them why we've got such an incredible sustainable product. Australia has the climate to grow bamboo as well.
Yeah.
Why are we not making products out of bamboo? And they unanimously said labor costs. So for us to make anything Australian grown and then turn it into a product, it's going to be a lot more expensive. So one of the guys did bamboo flooring.
Right.
He did a full imported bamboo flooring, full price analysis on it, of having his own farms, chopping it, turning it to flooring. It's going to be 3 times the price of the imported. So as much as we want Australian products, we're not always going to pay 3 times the price. So
no, that's right.
So that was the one sort of gripe that I did have. However, I really wanted it to be bamboo. So I spent a good 3 to 4 months just finding the right manufacturer that had the correct certifications around the environment, but ethically, making sure that the work conditions are correct, the pay and all that. So that was
very important.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of manufacturers who have had the third-party certifications. So, and then, of course, finding a manufacturer that made a really good quality product. So, so that was a journey. That was a big chunk of the early days.
Yeah, a massive journey. So when we met, I think I discovered your brand because, is that right? I discovered your brand because I was looking for products for the Conscious Trader when I was starting the Conscious Trader, and I came across your brand. And then I was trying to think about this the other day, and then I came to pick up product from you, and then there was another link, wasn't there?
You had put a post on Gold Coast Girls in Business, I think, and a friend of mine sent it to me that you're looking for products.
Yeah.
So I replied and said, I've got this brand. Yeah,
that's
it might be suitable. And we caught up for a coffee.
That's right. And I was just like, I mean, for me, all I wanted to do was just connect with other women in business who were making amazing products that I could use my platform to sell. Yeah. And, and I was just like, and she's a Gold Coast girl and, all of the things. And it's so good.
Yeah. Our coffee was like 3 hours. I was crying at times.
Yes. Oh, my God. I know. So you
lot.
were really quite early on in your journey then, weren't you? Like you 12 months or so in, 18 months in,
I would
perhaps?
say, I think it was first year.
Yeah. So it's so incredible. And just so during that time, like you've said, you didn't have any business experience, you didn't have any marketing experience. So, what was it that kept you going? Because, I mean, I know that there's so much self-doubt. There's so many times where you're just like, why am I doing this? But I don't know if it's like insanity or like, like for me, I think sometimes it's insanity or, is it blind faith or just that you just had this desire to bring this product to life, or how, what was it for you?
There was definitely, to start with, the desire that I wanted this product because there wasn't any option like it. Then with this, I just kept feeling flow.
Yeah.
When it was hard, and I was questioning myself, especially when I, was a solo mom, like nothing in the bank. What am I doing? But I still checked in with myself. Am I meant to keep going? Like those obstacles and those hard times didn't feel like roadblocks.
Yeah.
It wasn't, universe trying to put me into another direction or anything. It was just more growth, I guess.
Yes.
And just trusting. I kept checking in with myself. Is this what I should be doing? And and I kept getting the nod and the yes. So I kept going, and so grateful that I had.
And so how did you finance it? What did you need to get started? For anyone that's listening that's, you know, like, I really want to start something, but I don't know how and I don't have the money. And, you know, we've obviously both been there. So how did you navigate those first 12 months? What were you doing and, you know, what did you need to get started?
I did have savings.
Yeah.
So I did have, which was meant to be a deposit for a home.
Sometimes we have to make choices.
Totally. But in hindsight now, you know, the value of what that could have been to now, or the property market. But it definitely works out the way it's supposed to. So I did have savings, but it did blow out to be a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
As well. But I did everything skin. I didn't pay myself. I think a lot of people go into business thinking that they're going to replace their income within the next few months, and if it doesn't work out, then it's a failure and they'll quit. I lived very, very scarcely. You know, it was tough at times. Like, I felt quite nauseous spending money on things.
Yeah.
But that was a lot to do with my mindset around money as well. So the early days was just, trying to be resourceful. I was very fortunate that I had people around me who just all of a sudden through the blue would be like, oh, like, I could help you in this way, and offer me warehouse. And then there was something on the Today Show, Sunrise, that a friend was like, you got to go on this. And then, I applied and then got to go on that. And those are all little things that people have just helped me along the way. And it really blew my mind that people want, not that people want to help you, but just so many people just kind of came out of the woodworks and just a little step here and a little step up there. And whereas if I was working in a job, there isn't that opportunity for people to give you that step up or that helping hand.
No, not so willingly and not so passionately.
Yeah.
Without, you know, wanting something in return as well.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, there was no bank sort of funding. It was living,
just bootstrapped and scrappy.
Exactly. That's it.
I love that. That's so good. And so how did you find, you know, because they say, you know, every overnight success was 10 years in the making, right? And, you know, you're right in the middle of that now. So how many years how many years are you in now?
Yeah, it's almost 5 years since we launched had the first product in hand.
And are you starting to feel like, I think when I got to that 5-year mark, you sort of feel like you can take a little bit of a breath?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
A little, yeah.
Just a little bit of a breath.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you get a team now and that supports a lot of the day-to-day kind of stuff.
So tell me what the business is looking like right now, because I mean, you know, I went to have a meeting yesterday at Flannery's, and I was walking in and there was a lady walking out and she had her box with her groceries in it and she had Eco Chic's toilet paper and tissues, and I was like, yes, you do. Yeah, girl.
I love it.
And I was like smiling at her and she was probably thinking, what the hell is this woman doing? This episode of Cut the Crap is brought to you by Bespoke Creative, strategic brand and marketing solutions for visionary businesses. If you're building a business but your brand still feels like a work in progress, or you're stuck in DIY mode and it's just not cutting through, they get it. That's what they do. Bespoke craft powerful brand strategies, compelling content and high-impact marketing campaigns to help businesses grow, scale and stand out. Visit bespokecreative.com.au to learn more or book a free call. And, you know, when I was out show, I think I sent you a photo. I saw, you know, you were at the end of the aisle at Market Organics. And, you know, I know how much you've pushed your wholesale model for the business. And, I mean, obviously you've had to. And it's fantastic. Like, you know, so tell me from that first 12 months to where you are now, almost 5 years in, what does the picture look like for you now? Have you got a team? What's happening within the business? What, you know, where are you going?
So we've got a team of 3 like that work sort of directly, and then we've got some contractors that do other things outside of the business. But
Yeah.
so team of 3, we've got someone who looks after like our graphic design, social media,
Yep.
management, and that creative type of side. And then we've got so that's Carla, and then we've got Elle. She looks after all of our customer service, all of our invoicing, wholesale. She wears about as many hats as I do.
Yes.
She's a superstar. Like they all. I'm so blessed to have such a team. Like, and I've got 2 remote workers and one that's based on the Gold Coast. And I remember before I had hired team, people were saying, "Oh, I tried that. It's so hard. Like if they're not like working with you," and I just was like, "No, I believe it's going to work out," and it absolutely has. So, and then I've got Gemma, who is here, and she helps out with the warehousing and order fulfillment as well. So,
okay, I think that's who I've met her, haven't I?
Yes.
Have I met Gemma?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've grown the business wholesale wise. We have a lot of retail and we have distributors now around Australia as well.
Fantastic.
But a big focus for me is hotels and accommodation. So I do have a background in hotels and absolutely love seeing all these big brands now, the Accors and Marriott's. They've got a big focus on sustainability as well. So that's my main focus when I am focusing on wholesale, is to start working more with hotels.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So you've got a few already that you're supplying to?
Yeah, we've got, I can never say it, Carlisle
yes.
in Brisbane.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, QT in Surfers Paradise. A bunch in Byron. The Crocodile Hunter Lodge up at Australia Zoo.
Yes.
Beautiful
amazing.
Luxury eco lodges up there.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that's growing. And then we've got obviously just directly online, consumers can order and get it directly delivered straight to their door.
Yeah. And you've got a subscription, don't you, for the toilet paper, which is fantastic. Yes. It's so great.
Yes.
So, because you've told me this once before, but let's share it with everybody else, because when we talk about toilet paper, and, you told me about the fluffy roll. I feel like I've got the insider when it comes to toilet paper. But, you told me about the fluffy roll and how they blow air into it when they wind them up, and that's why they feel so big. But actually the rolls have half as much toilet paper as what yours do because they're just not tightly wound. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about how tightly they wind it. So although side by side, if you took one of our rolls and compared it to your average toilet paper roll from the supermarket, they look the same size, the same diameter. But if you actually like squashed them, you'll see, like if you go like that this one just like squashes because it's so loosely wound, and then ours are tightly wound so that we could fit as much as possible on there. So it's deceiving that the rolls look a lot bigger. In super, well, it's deceiving that our rolls look the same size, but also we're not going to go and make our rolls bigger, like look bigger, and then be shipping air around the country.
Yes.
And having to pass that cost on to the consumer. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I mean, it's great because, like I think most people think when they think either bamboo toilet paper or eco toilet paper, they immediately think it's going to be rough. It's going to be, and I think the only thing that you have to get over is the white. That it's not white.
Yes.
It's like it's like a beige kind of a color. I wouldn't call it brown. It's not brown. This is brown. It's not brown.
It's a soft beige.
It's a soft beige, but it's
true.
It's beautiful. But they actually look, you've got beautiful individual wrapping on your rolls when you you've got your naked rolls, but then you've got your, like your wrapped rolls, and the packaging and the design, everything is so gorgeous. Why wouldn't you want that out? In your loo,
Thank you.
Showing everybody.
And we do wrap free as well, because sometimes you don't need that extra hygienic wrapping. So let's have less waste. We do naked rolls as well.
Yeah. So what do you think your biggest achievement has been so far?
Within the business?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I think, I'm so grateful the brand keeps growing organically on its own. So we don't have any huge marketing spend. We don't do Facebook ads, Meta ads or anything like that. And the brand keeps growing. But I think when big hotels, like hotel brands, reach out to me, that to me is a pretty, big accomplishment. But every time we, I guess, hit another revenue month as well, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we've, hit that. So, I don't know, there's many more achievements to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's so great to just, to see the journey and trust it. And then you because you did say that, you didn't pay yourself for 2 years, right? So obviously something inside you was like, keep going. I've got to keep going.
Yeah.
So, what does that feel like to you? Well, you've mentioned the flow. So is that the feeling for you when you feel like you're in flow, that's when you know you're on the right track?
It was then. It was me just checking in with myself. Do I feel like these hard times is a message to stop, or it's to keep going? So back then it was flow. But then in the last few years I have lent so much more into my intuition and asking big questions, getting answers and following through with them when they are not the answer that I wanted.
Yeah.
And then things working out so much better than I could imagine.
Yes.
So, intuition now is, we all have it. It's not just like my special little gift. We all have it, but we don't use it. And it's like
we don't listen.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We ignore those signs and those knocks and those internal sort of guidance.
Yes.
But when you start to learn and pick up what is your intuition and pay attention to it, it definitely isn't going to give you the answer that you want, but it gives you the answer that you need.
Yeah.
And there's been a few big jumps that I took because there was a period that I was then working. I had 3 casual jobs, the business, and doing mum life all on my own. But I gradually dropped those casual jobs off, and the last one, it was like, I still can't pay myself enough, but do I just take that leap? And it said quit. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And
I remember when you did that. Yeah. And you were very nervous about it, but you were all in, which is, you've got to be. You have to be.
Yeah. And then
so tell me, what do you think the difference is between fear and intuition? How can you distinguish between the two? When, they can obviously both feel very loud.
Yes.
So how can you?
Intuition is instant. Yeah. So you don't have time to think. If something comes to you like straight away, that's your intuition. If then you start thinking about it and the minds start processing things, that is now your ego, and your ego is wonderful. It's there to protect you, and keep you safe, but it also like stops you from taking those leaps and thinks of all the worst case scenarios. Yes. So for me, intuition, it happens instantly. There's different types. Like some people can hear things, see things, feel things. They get a knowing. And once you learn what all those different ones are, you can figure out which one you're more predominant in and then start sort of honing into that one.
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of people say it's like a gut instinct, right? But it's not always necessarily that for everybody.
No, exactly. So mine, I always sound crazy. I hear voices. It's not,
okay.
But it's only my voice. Like I literally just hear my voice, and it doesn't have a big conversation. It answers really quickly and simply. And
yes. I'd love that. I would love that for myself. I'd be a bit more straightforward with my answers.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. When your answers aren't straightforward, you've gone into the head and you're thinking, and that's where the ego is, and it keeps you safe rather than taking that leap. And there's a saying, the universe likes you to jump, so you jump without a net.
Yes.
So it pushes you, and you don't know how it's going to end, or is. So it but it is always there to catch you.
Yes.
You know, and I saw this wonderful picture that kind of like was flicking you off the edge, but then there to catch you, and just you take that.
I love
leap.
that. That's great.
But the fear comes from when you start to think.
Mm-hmm.
And your ego.
So, what's your advice to someone who's feeling that same nudge to leap, but their logical mind is screaming, "No, don't do it." You know, there's a million reasons why no.
Yeah.
What's your advice?
Oh, jump. I know that sounds so simple, but I truly believe that if we follow our heart and the things that fulfill us, everything's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as it is coming from the right place, and I guess you can still also, ego can also be like, oh, but you're better than that, and I don't know, it can also lead you astray. So taking the time to sort of ensure that it is intuition and not sort of ego taking over. But for me, I've taken so many jumps lately, and they're scary, but I've got so much more confidence over them now because I see how well they worked out.
Can you tell us about one?
Yes. Well, the one that I mentioned with should I quit or stay? So I did that and went into the business and was able to grow it obviously so much sort of faster.
Well, it's also because you're actually focusing. And you have the time, right? So because it's all or nothing, you literally have no choice because you've got children to feed.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly. And when you put yourself in that kind of situation, sink or swim, you work out how you're going to swim.
Yeah.
But if it is a big leap also, you know, don't be quitting your job tomorrow and then think that this business is going to sort of, you know, supplement things. You do need to do things with a little bit of caution and safety.
Yeah.
But you can, if it's a career change or a job change, you can definitely take steps now in that direction and stop putting off thinking that it's not possible for you or you can't do it or have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other one I did was, it was during COVID, the big rental crisis. Just became single mom, not really earning any money, not exactly the prime candidate for rental properties.
Yes.
And I had a beautiful townhouse, was living there, but there was just something, rent was going up $200 a week, as it was everywhere. But
yeah, you were in a bit of a situation there, weren't you?
Yeah. So then do I stay or do I go? And it said go. I was like, huh? And everyone, you know,
I wasn't expecting that.
And you know, everyone, my family, my friends are like, you're crazy. You've got somewhere to live. Why are you leaving? And I was like, no, I'm trusting, and I absolutely trusted. You know, I took action, and we ended up with an incredible place to live. Really affordable, next to a beautiful family, which, you know, my son's an only child, so he's been able to grow up with them.
Yes. Are you still living there now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just we're ready to buy, but it's been 6 months. Oh, it's been over 6 months. I'm always looking. 6 months of being ready to buy, but just the right property's not coming forward.
Yeah.
So divine timing.
Yes.
So we're ready to move, but we, and at the time, I couldn't have imagined how it would work out, because then I was thinking, all right, it's going to cost all this money in rent, and it's going to be really hard. I don't know how I'm going to convince someone that we're good tenants when I'm not really earning anything.
Yes.
And but I ended up with 4 opportunities, you know. So, but logically, and if I was coming from a place of fear, I would have been like, no way, stay, you've got somewhere. And
being even in worse financial situation because you had $200 extra a week to be paying.
Yeah, or like more. Or more. Compared to what I'm paying. Now it was a lot more.
Yes.
And I probably would have had to get, you know, a housemate in, which is all right when you don't have kids, but when you've got a child in the mix, it's not.
Yeah, it's very, I remember when the boys were young, and the place that I lived in, I had like a great 4-bedroom townhouse in Robina, actually, and it was great. But even back then, like, I mean, from the time I was on my own, I was paying ridiculous rents, even 25 years ago, because I was on my own and I had bloody dogs and children. And, you've got, and then it is that, like, then trying to go, okay, well, everyone kept saying to me, oh, you need to get someone in. You need to get someone in. It's like, well, that's all very well and good for you to sit there and say that to me and tell me what I need to do with my life. But that's someone that I'm trusting to be around my children 24/7. So who does that look like? You know, and who is that person and how do I find them?
Yeah.
And I know, like, I ended up having a wonderful lady who lived with me for quite some years, and she was wonderful. She was great. And that really worked out for us, for both of us, but it took time. I mean, at one stage I had, what do you call them? Homestays. I had like Japanese homestays.
I did look into that. Yeah.
They were, because we were on the golf course, so they were from the golf school, and like they came over to play golf. And the first one I had from Japan, he was beautiful. He was so lovely, and his parents were wonderful. Yeah. And then the next one was from Korea, and it was a nightmare. I ended up with two of them, but they hated each other. And then so there was all these problems, and then, they were so disrespectful to me. And then one day I found the older one outside with pinned Lachlan down by his like with his knees on his shoulders on the ground. Like, and I was just like, oh, you're out. Like, get out. Like, you've got to, these kids have got to get out of my house. Yeah. And it was just horrible. And then they were like, oh, would you like some more? And I was like, never again. Thank you very much. That's enough of that one. Yeah. It's like all of those things, that's in your safe space. And, and we kind of, I think when you're, a single parent, there's so many more things we need to be navigating, as well as trying to, raise our family, put a roof over our head, be successful in business or life, and be happy and take care of ourselves. And it's just like, it's really damn hard.
Yeah. It's not easy, but I wouldn't have it any other way really now.
No, so. I know, right? And it's all a part of, the journey and the experience that it builds in you, that, I can say 25 years on, that the things that it's given me, in my life, I would never have if it wasn't for those experiences that I've had, Yeah. So yeah, it is a blessing. It's always a blessing. Yeah. It's just the journeys that we go through. Yeah. During those blessings can be challenging.
Yeah, when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to be like, this is for a reason.
Yes, but But do you find that, I was going to ask you that before, I sometimes find for myself when things are really tough, or I'm going through something in business, or, business life, whatever it might be, and, it's quite challenging. Whereas, like you were saying before, a lot of people would just be like, oh, no, that's just a reason to stop, or that's not, But for me, I tend to find myself always going for the silver lining. Like, it's like, well, yes, this has happened. And then, I feel it's my way of processing.
Yes.
Processing it through and going, okay, yes, it was a negative, right? But it was because of that negative that this happened. And if this hadn't happened, this wouldn't have happened. And this is going to happen because of this. Yeah. And, I don't know. Do you do the same?
Yeah. I call myself the annoying optimistic one. Because, I do. But sometimes, this happened, but it caused this. But sometimes you don't know what this is going to be yet. Like,
that's right.
There's something that's happened, and then you just got to trust.
Yep. That was a reason why.
Yeah, it's all going to happen for a reason. And it absolutely helps you get through everything. There's really challenging, horrible things that people go through, but if they can have the mindset that, okay, this is all for something bigger and greater that's going to happen, it is definitely the best kind of coping sort of.
But is that resilience? Do you think that's resilience growing, like in building in our bodies?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it is.
It helps for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do we tune more into this deeper inner guidance when, the rest of the world is kind of telling us to just play it safe? How does someone get more in tune with you? You've mentioned a few times about, when you were going through in those early stages when you were starting the business, that you constantly kept checking in with yourself. Do you think that's something that people need to do to kind of, to really train this intuition muscle, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of tapping into it, slowing down and stillness is a really big part of it. We are so busy and doing. Our brain is constantly go, that we don't have the space to listen or pick up on the signals and the feelings. So that is one of the biggest parts. So I know some people don't like meditation. Meditation's a really good form, but just going for like a walk, but without, earphones in. Yeah.
Distraction.
And just being on your own. Or sometimes I've done a few times where I just sit and look at a candle, like look at the flame sort of flickering, and you're just really slowing down. And the more that you can still yourself, the more you pick up on all different types of the senses in your body. So that is probably one of the biggest first steps that we need to do. I would say learning about, they're called clairs. There's 7 clairs, I think. And like if you learn what they are, when I mentioned about you can hear like your voice, or you can potentially vision, like see things. It's like a knowing, you can get a gut feeling. If you learn what those clairs were, when I first did, I went, oh, I do hear my voice. And then I was like, right, I'm going to start listening to it. Like sometimes, when you're having a thought, like I'm thinking about something, I have my voice. But there's other times where the voice just comes, like, and that's the intuition. It just comes. It's not coming from a thought. It just pops up.
Yeah. It's like a little reminder. It's like the warning box when, on your screen, things come up like.
Yeah. It's like, well, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
But exactly. Where did that come from? Where'd that feeling come from? It's like you didn't consciously think about anything to create it. Something just popped up. And when you start picking up on those, that's when you can work out sort of what your prominent sort of intuition is. But then there's other ways of communicating with, it's a lot to sort of go into detail, but for me, I started communicating with like colors and sounds and words. So I ask questions, and then depending, I'll focus on colors or sounds or words to get sort of the messages and answers. So that's a bit more in depth. But for anyone that's wanting to sort of start to use their intuition, I would suggest, slowing down. That's a really, really big one. And then learning about the clairs to try and figure out which one is theirs, and then follow. Like when you get a little nudge or something saying stop or go or quit or, like as long as it's not, too big, maybe start a little bit smaller than big life changes. Yeah. But follow it, see what happens. And if you're like blown away by the results, and you're like, to me, that's your intuition pushing you and guiding you where you're meant to go.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So you've spoken about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. And I know I've been there myself, and I understand that. But, what did that journey look like for you, and how did you do that? How did you start realizing that, and I think because it does have a lot to do with how you've grown up, right? And what you've, seen and experienced. Yeah. But when was that point for you where you were like, oh, okay.
About 3 years ago. Okay. I realized I was, in scarcity mindset. When we're from 0 to 7 is like our programming. Like when we're in utero to 7 years old, our main programming of everything that we pick up about relationships and life and reactions and money in particular, we get all this programming, and then it just runs in the background as we become adults, not even like checking, is it factual, is it truth, but we just let that be our operating.
Because it's what we feel in our body, it's what we understand, because that's our safe zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So with growing up, it was always, money doesn't grow on trees, and you always bought the cheapest version of everything. Even though it broke after 6 months.
Yeah. But, and then you're buying another one. The poor man pays twice, right?
Well, Dad is Mr. Fix-It. So
right.
Everything was, duct tape and open. So he would fix everything. He was a mechanic, so he kind of would fix things. But 3 years ago, just, I'm massive on personal development and listening to audiobooks and podcasts. And then it just, and a manifestation kind of was a topic that I got introduced to. And that's where I was learning about this scarcity and abundance mindset. And then, through different podcasts I was listening to, it made me realize what scarcity was. And it's the words that you use, the relationship you have with money, what you think is coming to you or not coming to you. And then I took all that and started to just switch it. So, the words that we use is a big one. So if we're saying things like, oh, I can't afford that, or oh, I'm so broke, or guess what? Like, that's what you're going to get. Like, and the power of your thoughts and your words has been the biggest part of my journey the last few years.
Yes.
So when it came to money, I completely stopped saying things like I can't afford that. And this is when I literally had no money.
Yeah.
And then I started to become like almost delusional. I'd say things like, money does come to me, and I am abundant, and I would feel like there's an energy side too. So if you're walking around like someone who has $20,000 worth of debt, you'll have $20,000 worth of debt.
Yes.
If you're walking around like your posture changes, your energy changes, like someone who is a millionaire, everything shifts and it changes, and energy, like attracts like. So
Absolutely.
This is where I'm a firm believer. If we embody what we want to be or become, we will attract it. So I was taking into account like my programming, my subconscious programming, the words that I was using, and then like the energy and my beliefs around money. And it's not that I'm like now walking around in, fancy designer wear and stuff like that, but because you don't need to. Like if you can act like the person who has the money that you want, I was literally blown away because it shifted and money literally started just coming in. And
it's also that thing of, I used to find myself holding on to money. So,
yes.
Holding on and not, like, for example, not paying the bill till the very last minute, purely because I didn't want to let the money go. The thing is, that is part of that scarcity mindset, and it's holding on, and you're basically just damming up the walls.
Yes.
So, money is flow. Yep. And it continues to flow. And you have to know that when you let it go, more will come in.
Yes.
But if you don't let it go, more won't come in.
Yeah.
And you have to not restrict that flow.
100%. Yeah. And that was a big part too, because I felt so sick about spending money.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's flow. And it's a currency. That's why they call it currency. It's,
correct.
Money. And so that was
energy.
A big part, allowing that to go out and it would come back in.
Yes. And just knowing that it will. Sometimes it takes a little longer than we want, but it does come back.
Yeah, but when you make all those little shifts and changes, like it really works.
Yeah, and we're not sitting here saying that, all you have to do is think like you're rich and you're going to be rich. That's not what we're saying, right?
No.
What we're saying is it's about understanding that, the way that you think about money, the way that you talk about money, and the way that you behave around that needs to shift if you want to bring more it's the same in all aspects of our lives, right? When it comes to positive mindsets and, like you said, if you're walking around with $20,000 worth of debt, you're also walking around going, my life is shit. I feel like shit. The world is against me. It's not fair. It's my, it's not my fault. It's a victim mentality. It's a heaviness that you're carrying on yourself.
Yeah.
And, everything.
And you attract more and more.
Right. You attract
things
negative.
That confirm just that.
Correct. And see, I told you so. And, negative people who want to either thrive off that, kind of negativity and, enjoy seeing you suffer. Or who are just exactly the same as you. And then you just look around yourself and you think, well, see, everybody's like this because everybody around you is, right?
Yeah. And people want that confirmation, don't they? That they're right.
Yeah.
But that's why you stay in a very unhealthy loop.
Yeah. And I think it's growing up in the 80s too. I think that was kind of like just a stock standard that, money doesn't grow on trees, all of those things, it was like the cash machine, it comes out of the cash machine, but it's got to come from somewhere, you know, when ATMs first came out, you know, all of those things. It's very much an 80s.
Yeah,
like
nothing in life's free. Someone's going to pay for it. Yeah, Dad.
Yeah.
But having like the relationship with money, like how you talk about money and stuff, there's this really cool activity you can do where you have money, you're an observer and you're the owner of money, and you have a conversation, and it kind of brings out how you actually feel about money, and then you switch it around how money would talk about you, and that's a big thing. Like if we aren't loving and having a relationship with money, then it doesn't want to be with us. Like we need to treat it with respect. And I know I don't do it often. I've done it a couple of times.
God, I'm just thinking about what my money would say.
Yeah, we have to. I know it sounds great, like have this relationship with money, but
I think I'd be in an abusive relationship and I'm the abuser if I'm like constantly spending money.
It's flow.
Oh
as
dear,
long as it's coming back. But someone I know, every time they make a purchase with a card, they don't necessarily say it out loud, but thank it like it's their partner who's just bought them something. Like, oh, thank you so much for buying this for me, and thanking the money for buying something for them, not essentially thanking themselves. And just little things like that where you start to love and appreciate money rather than looking at it as like a bit of a dirty thing, or I shouldn't want it, or
or a means to an end, you know, essentially, which I think a lot of people do still feel that way. It's just, you know, you need it, and then kind of waiting for that big win that's not necessarily going to come unless you work for it. This episode is sponsored by The Conscious Trader, a curated lifestyle brand created for those of us who value slow living, simple luxury, and intentional choices. Their range of small batch, sustainably made, non-toxic essentials are designed for the home and body, crafted with care, beautiful enough to display, and gentle enough for the whole family. If you've been craving products that reflect your values without compromising on quality or beauty, explore the collection at theconscioustrader.com.au. Slow living, simple luxury.
Yeah. Just going to win the lotto.
Yeah. So what do you think are the top 3 areas people can look at if they want to move from lack to flow?
So trying to see where your subconscious programming is, like your beliefs around whatever it is. So I did it with money and attracted a lot of flow. And then I was like, well, I did this with money. And here I am going, oh, I have no time. Like, I'm so busy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what if I did this with time? So I, again, changed the way I talked about time. I never said, oh, I don't have any time, or, oh, I'm so busy. I
never have enough time.
Yeah, so I don't say that anymore. And I don't know where that belief came from. But first thing is definitely checking sort of your programming. How do you feel about money? What's your beliefs about money? Do you think it's hard to make, or it's not for me, or it's evil, or... And then and one way is to write down what's your thoughts about money. Then question yourself, is that actually true? Is that fact? And give examples of how that's not true. And cross that belief out. And this is your new belief. That's a very simple way of checking in with your beliefs and be like, no, that's not right. I actually see, if I used to think money was evil, I didn't personally, but if you did, okay, but how has money created so much good in the world? Who are these wealthy people who do so much goodness in the world? And here's all these examples. So money isn't evil. It's, they say it amplifies, who you are. So if you're a good person, you're going to do good things with it. So checking on like your beliefs. If you think money is hard to make, okay, well, where did you sort of get that belief from? But then where's examples of people making money really easily and well, and crossing that belief out? And I think when you bring those beliefs to the surface, then you kind of have a choice to be like, okay, well, is it true or is it not? And and look for evidence where it's not true. Looking at the words you use, so it can be when you speak them out loud, but also just thoughts, saying things like, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. Change that to, when it comes to money, I choose not to spend my money on that.
Yeah.
You know, because that takes control over saying I can't afford that. I choose not to spend my money on that is a way better way to sort of frame it. And then, just your energy. So believing, like embodying who it is that you want to be and the financial position that you want to be or the time space that you want to be. So, and in the beginning you can feel really delusional, like you're saying these things that aren't right in front of you yet, you know, but your words are your wand, you know, like what you say and what you believe can absolutely create your reality. And embodying that sort of feeling, that energy, you know, if you want a particular type of car but you're driving something nothing like that at the moment, when you're sitting in your car, envision what it'd feel like. How would you sit if you were driving the car of your dreams? And I guarantee like you sit differently, and that just changed your whole energy.
Absolutely. I love that. So then how do you think that shift from scarcity abundance has changed the way that you do business now?
Like you, when you were saying holding on to like money, and I was like, no, I can't, like like a little squirrel, like keeping it all there. Now I feel so much more comfortable spending money on the business and getting help. Whereas before I would do everything myself, and investing in proper help too, because before I would think, oh, that's so expensive when I can just do it myself. But believing in the return on investment when you get someone who actually is professional and good at it.
So who was your first hire that you brought? What did you bring on first?
I brought two on at the same time.
Okay.
Because the plan was to hire one, but I interviewed them both and thought they were both amazing, gelled really well with them, and could see they were strong in slightly different areas with a bit of a crossover. So I went from just me to two at one time, which was a bit daunting because I think a lot of people don't go down that hiring path because they're like, oh, my business is like a massive mess. How could I let anyone in and see it, or how am I meant to hand anything over? But as soon as you make those hires, you're forced to, and you got to document everything and create these procedures.
And it's great. And it's also, you know, a part of the journey of allowing people in to do the things that you can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Or that you can do, but that someone that can do it better than you.
Yeah.
Right. So that you can grow.
Yeah. And that's where I'm definitely at the moment. But
yeah. Oh, that's so good. So when you look back in your journey from solo mum, now the founder of two heart-led businesses, what are you most proud of?
Definitely Eco Cheeks and how far it's come, considering no experience and no other financial backing or people in the business, and I did it really solo for quite a period of time. But also I think getting a lot better at the juggle of being a mum. Like it was so many women are so motivated and ambitious, but when you become a mum, that there's no real time or space for that. No. So being able to balance and give, dedicated attention to your child, but then your business is also your baby. But I think I've got, it's still a work in progress, and as he gets older, he has different needs, so I've got to juggle that. But I think, just doing it, I guess, so on my own.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be so proud of that. It's massive. It's so big.
You know the journey, even bigger than mine. So,
And so, if your younger self could see you today, what do you think she'd say to you?
Oh, my younger self.
That traveling lady, that young woman that was running around the globe.
Because I was very, very insecure, younger, shy girl. just, yeah, wow, look how fun life is.
Yeah.
Like, I think she'll be like, cool, I get to do all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And yeah, you get to, like, and you can choose.
Yeah.
Which is what I really realized the last, 5 years is that you, rather than waiting for opportunities and things to come to you, you can actually decide what you want.
Yeah, you just make them yourself.
Yeah.
Just make that shit happen.
Yeah. It's the best.
If you want it, make it happen.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what you've got to do. See the opportunity and go for it.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's not easy. It's often very, very hard, actually, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why there's only 1% of us that are actually out there doing it. But, there should be more. But it is having that trust and faith, and we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But you have to work for it too.
Mm.
And that's the difference I think I see in, the youth of today. But, you know what I mean? There's that younger demographic of these, they want it all and they want to work for themselves and they don't want to be employed and they want to be their own bosses.
Mm.
But then, they don't understand the amount of work that actually goes into it.
Mm.
And, I think social media has a lot to answer for in those areas.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, for me, I wanted to do this podcast for so long. It's literally been 5 years in the making, because I wanted to be able to share stories like yours with more people that understand that, it's not just what you see. It's not just the highlight reels. There's like all of these other things, the real stuff that goes on in the background,
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so much of it.
Yeah. And there's definitely not that exchange for like, I put in the hours, I get like, and a lot of people go, well, if I put in time, I need to get money out. There's not that exchange.
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. But
there is none of that.
No, not when it comes to business. But, social media has definitely changed the game. The internet has changed the game in what people can do these days to create businesses and make
Absolutely.
income.
Yeah. And I think, like I think AI is great. I'm not against it in any way. I have a very well-trained personal assistant in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And is extremely well-trained in helping me to do things, in certain ways, in certain areas. But, I do believe that even though, it has that ability to help you, it doesn't give you the depth. It doesn't give you, that comes from life.
Yeah.
You can't download that stuff.
Yeah. I agree.
And that is, where I think people who are relying too heavily on AI to do everything for them are going to struggle, because we still need community, we still need connection, and we still need understanding and empathy. And that does not come from AI at all, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a handy tool, but it doesn't have story or connection like you sort of said. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to do my rapid fire round. So the first one is cut the crap confession. So what's one thing in business or life that you used to believe but now you call bullshit on?
There's probably still a bit of truth to it, but there's that saying, money loves speed. So I feel like that's all about like hustle.
Yes.
Like you got to go, like money like speed. Like if you want to grow a business, you got to go fast, you got to go hard. Otherwise, quit, kind of thing. And I think I'm a prime example of not doing that and not having sort of the ability to do that and growing the business slowly and sustainably over time. Like I said, I'm sure there's some truth in it, like maybe you can invest quickly or something like that. But in terms of a business, I don't think you need to, go. No,
100%. And look, I genuinely believe it depends on the type of business that you have. If you have an exit strategy and you have a business that you want to scale and you want to get out quickly, then by all means you go fast.
Yeah.
And also, if you have the energy and you have the means, go ahead.
Yeah.
Knock yourself dead.
Yeah.
But like I'm 100% on the slow business trail. I just think that you don't have to push that hard. You can still get just as much done in a nice and nurturing way that's sustainable but it depends on the type of business that you are trying to build.
Yeah.
I really think that has a lot to do with it.
100%.
And everyone thinks, again, social media, because everyone thinks you need to scale and you need to be big, but,
an overnight success.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Lauren from Empower House a few episodes ago. And, we spoke about it just because it's everyone on social media is telling you need, to be doing $1 million a month or, that this is how much your business needs to be bringing in. If that's not what you want, and your business is bringing in enough money to keep a roof over your head and the life that you're accustomed to and raising your family, then that's all you need. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Doesn't mean you're failing because you've got a successful business.
Yep, exactly.
There is very different models for everyone. And as you grow and build up, and there's these new layers that add onto your business that make it more complex as well too. And it depends on whether you want to manage that.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Yes.
All right. So what does success look like for you today? Not the polished version, but the real one.
Getting to work, I guess, in alignment with what I want to do and not having to work for another company in a job. So I get to do work that really fulfills me up and things that I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. And I mean, success, there's all, used to always be like money, cars, like big houses. And there is definitely an aspect of money because it gives you safety and security and, it gives you options. So having some financial security, but the biggest one for me is flexibility. I mentioned freedom being my biggest value in life, but I now have flexibility to my son started school this year and I've been able to go to every one of the school events, whereas if I worked for somebody, like I wouldn't have that flexibility or freedom. So for me to be able to be present and there for him is probably the most successful part of what I've kind of created and built.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does your daily non-negotiable look like? Something that keeps you grounded?
I am an early riser. I get up around 4:35 in the morning and I do love a bit of meditation and some journaling if something comes up. Then I'm always learning. I'm obsessed with like learning. So I'm always doing some sort of course or program. So I generally will then do some sort of study in the morning because that's my time. I go to bed same time as my son. So it's not like I have nights to myself. That is my time, and it's meditation, journaling. I do some study and then I try to have a workout before he wakes up. I don't always do it because I get kind of like in the zone when I'm learning, but then I'll do something when he wakes up and he just joins me and he's like at night times he's always, let's exercise. He's like planking and I'm like, no, it's nighttime, I don't want to exercise, but at least he's had that good influence on him.
Oh, that's good.
But that's my morning morning routine.
Yeah, nice. I think it sets you up for a great day, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's one thing that you've stopped doing that makes space for more of the life that you actually want?
So especially since I became solo mum, it was always work, mum, work, mum, work, mum. And I'm like, how do I make time for a relationship? Because it's something that I do want, but the whole idea of it made me feel very anxious. So I knew that I had to create space and time and let go of a bit of mum and a bit of work, and give myself permission almost. So, but a big part of that was realizing that when you're working, you're very much like in your masculine, and then when I'm at home I get to be mum, but I also dad, so I'm like, it was a lot in my masculine.
Always in the masculine.
So I learned a lot about the masculine and feminine energy that we all have. So I have consciously lent into more of the feminine, doing some nice and nurturing things for myself.
Yeah, beautiful.
Which is, there's times when I don't have my son and I would work. And it's like, no, now you need to go to the bathhouse or go to the beach and read or have a mask in the movies, like, or by yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then by doing those things for myself, I have created more sort of space in my life for like a relationship.
Yeah. Nice. So does that mean there is
no.
a relationship?
when it comes.
Are you hard launching?
What's that?
Are you hard launching something here?
Myself. Yeah.
No, that's great. I love that. So what's one book, podcast or resource that you would recommend that's made a big impact in your life or work?
Ooh. I'm always reading so many books at the same time, which is not the best thing. One that comes to mind is Supernatural.
Okay.
Gosh, I just forgot.
We can add it into the show notes.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of it.
Very well known. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very much around, your thoughts creating your reality, and just how important your beliefs and your thoughts and the way you talk about things are.
Yeah.
And that we have these essential supernatural abilities to create the life that we want. Oh my gosh. Very, very well known.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have heard of it, but I have not read it. So, all right, I'm going to look it up.
So that.
And I'll add it into the show notes.
Yeah.
So, okay, what is your ultimate hype song? What's getting you going?
I love Imagine Dragons. Whatever it takes.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
And break the chains kind of thing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love that
Okay.
one.
Good. All right. I'll have to have a listen to that on the way home.
I'll do whatever it takes. It kind of like, not being restricted by trains, and I'll do whatever it takes. And I love the adrenaline going through my veins. Kind of thing.
Nice.
And sometimes I need to chill a little, but
but slow down.
That is a good hype song.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it.
What's yours?
Do you know what? I don't know. No one's asked me yet. And I have to think about it. I feel like I've got so many.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think about? It's like different. I've got different songs of different vibes,
Seasons, yeah.
different things going on.
Yeah.
Let me think. What's something at the moment? I'm like, do you know what? I've got like a thing about Harry Styles. I don't have a thing for Harry Styles. I've just got a thing about his music.
Yeah.
And I think Music for a Sushi Restaurant. I don't know why, but it's just like such a great song. So it's just like a little, but at the moment we're very much in our Lightning McQueen era. And Cars. So Life is a Highway is kind of like our morning mantra at the moment.
So cute.
And when and the other one, Real Gone, which is like a Sheryl Crow song on the soundtrack. And Parker, like, as soon as it starts up, he goes, "Oh yeah." Like and then he goes, "Vroom vroom, mummy, vroom vroom," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So that's my hype song, but not by choice. And then sometimes you're really into it when you like drive off from kindy and they're still listening to it, and you're like, "Oh, I've got to turn this off."
Yeah. Oh well, it's still playing over in your head. Like there's a lot of songs that Alfie, we've got his own little playlist, but actually this is a really good song. Like the lyrics are actually really good. Yeah. So there's some, as a bit older, not the cartoon ones.
No, I know. Well, we've moved on from like Slippery Fish and a few of those songs, thank God. So every now and then I'm like, "Do you want to listen to that?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Great." So yeah, that's good. All right. So where can people find you?
Well, Eco Cheeks is on Instagram. Sorry, socials is the best. Is eco.cheeks, CHEEKS.
Yes.
And then my socials is Tanz.m for mother .roberts.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. And website EcoCheeks is online as well, so you can just do a search.
Yes.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I've really enjoyed our chat.
Me too.
Thank you everybody for tuning in for another episode of Cut the Crap. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, please leave a comment and subscribe so that other people like you can find it, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to Cut the Crap. If something in today's episode resonated with you, made you feel seen, or sparked a new thought, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Remember, real life is messy, business is personal, and growth isn't always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and join me each week as we keep cutting the crap. I'll see you in the next episode.